Well, good morning and welcome to another episode of SPI Chamber today. We're here on beautiful South Padre Island. My name is Alita Bagley and I'm the president of the South Padre Island, and this is my partner, Dianna Harville, the marketing director for the Chamber.
Well,
How are you?
At least I'm not in crime today. You
Yes.
always say I'm in crime.
Yes, you were my partner in crime last time and then my sidekick. Anyway, we're glad to be here today. We are at a little bit of an unusual location that we'll tell you about in just a moment. But Dianna, you want to tell us what's going on at the Chamber this week?
Sure. As always, we're busy. We continue with LKT planning, our 41st annual this year in August 12th through the 14th. So ladies, if you haven't signed up, you need to get it done.
That's right.
On Thursday night, we are going to have a ribbon cutting.
Oh, good.
At Berry Divine. They are located at 1808 Padre Boulevard. That is street front in front of Daddy's Cajun Seafood. In case you need a little bit of a locator there. Starts at 5:30. And they are all excited to welcome us in, give us some samplings of their wonderful, and I can't pronounce it, so.
Acai.
Wonderful. She can do it. I can't
I hope
say
that's
it.
right. If it's not, I'm in trouble. But it's going to be good no matter
It's
what.
going to be good. So please be there at 5:30 to welcome them to the community with their grand opening and their ribbon cutting.
Yes, and ribbon cuttings are always fun.
They
And
are.
we'll meet Todd. I believe his last name is Sheev. And yes, we all want to be there and welcome them. All of us in business know that it's sometimes a little bit nerve-wracking to open a new business, so we want to make sure that you all come so that you can support them and let them know that we're excited that they're here. I've actually had one of their smoothies and it was really, really good. So, and of course, ladies, no calories, so you don't have to worry about that.
right.
Absolutely none. And if there are, it just goes down to your ankles.
Right.
So not a problem.
And it's gluten-free.
And it's gluten-free,
Yay.
which is wonderful, yes. So many places are nowadays. We have a lot of chamber members,
Yes.
restaurants and places that offer gluten-free menus, so
Right.
that's wonderful.
It is.
Well, Dianna, thank you. As I said, we're in a little bit of an unusual place. Well, not an unusual place, but you'll see why I say that. We are in one of the popular bars here on South Padre Island, and we are going to be talking to two people who moved here to the island a while back and have started a new mission. So let's get them called over. Dianna, you want to give up your seat?
I guess I'll do that.
All right, I'm
For
sorry.
these two, absolutely.
There you go.
See y'all next week.
All right, so y'all come on over. We have Matthew Wyatt
Yes.
and his lovely wife, Krystal. We're so glad to have you all.
Good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. So, can y'all tell us a little bit of history about yourselves?
So we've been married 21 years. I gotta
Wow.
get that right.
Okay,
Gotta
that's
get that
a
right. Good job.
Yeah, you better make sure you get that
Yeah.
one right.
Almost 22 years. I was freshman in college. She was a senior in high school, and hit it off pretty quick. And she said no to me first, but I pursued her and kept pursuing her until I got it. And,
Never give up.
Never give up. We have a daughter. She's 21 years old, and she lives in California right now. We used to live in California for a bit, and she was 5 when we moved there, and we moved away, and she's a California girl, but we're trying hard to get her to this island.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to come here? A whole lot of California people are wanting to come here,
That's
so
right.
she might as well
That's
join
right.
them, right? So I hear there's somewhat of an interesting story about how you all ended up here on the island. You want to share that with us?
Yeah, only God. We had a 20th anniversary planned, and in 2019, I knew she always wanted to go to Hawaii. And so I said, let's plan a trip for May 2020 to Hawaii. Well, you know what hit in 2020?
Right.
And we couldn't go to Hawaii, so we just moved it to October, thinking it would all be over by then. We can go to Hawaii in October. Well, as we got closer, we decided we still can't go to Hawaii. So we rescheduled for Pensacola, Florida, because she wanted toes in the sand, warm water. And so I said, okay, let's go to Pensacola. We had everything booked. And literally 2 weeks before our trip, we get a call saying a small hurricane came through, but and everything is okay except it damaged your hotel. So we can't have your vacation there. You can move hotels, but there's another hurricane coming in behind it, Hurricane Delta. And so we're thinking, God, what do we do? Well, and we kept Googling places to go. And I was thinking Boston, New York, and she's like, Matt, I really want to be on the beach, toes in the sand, warm water. And I'm thinking, okay, it's hurricane season. We can't really go to Florida. What about Texas? Are there any beaches on Texas? And then this island kept popping up, and I told her, I said, I don't have my passport because I didn't think I didn't think Texas
Do I
had
have
an
to
island.
have a passport?
Yeah, I didn't think Texas had an island. Being from Washington, you look at Texas, it's just one solid state. I never zoomed in and saw that there was an island. So we kept bypassing it, but it kept coming up. And so finally I called the beach resort. And Miguel answered, and I said, listen, first of all, do I need a passport to come to your island?
No problem. We get that call all the time in the chamber,
Okay.
trust me.
And he sold us right away. He sold us on what the island was like, the community, the beauty of it. And so we booked right on, without knowing anything about it, we booked. And when we got here, I was feeling burnout stage, and she could tell. I almost quit my job about 5 times during 2020, just with all the pressure. And I've been a pastor for 13 years now, and that was the hardest year that we've experienced. So I just needed a break. So I asked God, I said, can I have 3 days without talking about what I do? That's all I want. We're here for 10 days. I just need 3 days with my wife, relax, rejuvenate. And God held me to that 3 days. And after 3 days, it was wave after wave of people saying, hey, what do you do? Explaining our mission, explaining our ministry. And they said, we would love that on the island. And our response was,
We'll pray for you.
we'll pray for you. We're stuck in Washington. We love Washington. We're not leaving Washington. That's where I grew up. That's where we grew up. And the very last day I was leaving, and Miguel, the same gentleman that sold us on this island, pulled me aside and said, Pastor, if you ever want to start a church on this island, I want to be a part of it, and I want to help you. And I laughed, and I said, well, you know what, we'll be praying for you. We're good, and we're good in Washington. Because two months before our trip here, I got a job offer at a big church in Houston, and I immediately declined it. And she was like, we need to talk about this. I've always wanted to go to Texas. And I made the statement, I'm never living in Texas.
Oh, never
No,
say
no.
never,
Yeah,
Matthew.
and we get on the plane, and she said, do you want to talk about it? Because I know what you're feeling. I said, no, I'm not leaving Washington. I know what God wants me to do, but I'm not doing it. Maybe I'll be so stubborn that he'll choose somebody else. And for 2 months we wrestled, and I was miserable. And she finally said, you need to listen to what God is calling you to do. So we gave the announcement to our church in Washington. We sold everything, and we made the move here in August.
Well, there you have it. So, in case you haven't guessed, Matthew and his wife are pastors.
I'm a pastor.
He's a
Yep.
Pastor,
Yeah.
okay. They moved here from Washington, and now where we sit, they all, both, and have been very blessed, and they now have what is called OneTwo Church. So tell us about the beginning of that church. So
we knew we had to be here. We didn't know the details. We didn't know anything, but we knew the person. We knew Jesus. It comes out of us. We're Jesus people. We love him. Saved our life. Saved our marriage. And we kept trying to come up with a fancy name for the church. So I was looking at hip, trendy names of churches and being like, okay, we could take this. Oh, there's a bridge. It's a causeway. We could be Causeway Church. And then finally somebody sat us down and said, do you know what I see when I see you two is you really love God and you really love people. And that's what Jesus has asked. He said there's two commandments to hang all the law and the prophets is 1, love God, and 2, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And we're like, 1-2. It's
There you
a
go.
simplistic name, but has a lot of meaning
A
to
lot
us.
of meaning, that is true. So, how did you start then?
We formed a board. We made a decision to go non-denominational, and that was hard because lack of funding. We did some fundraisers. When we came in here May of 2021, that's when we met you at the fundraiser.
Yes, they attended one of our chamber events, and we met them both. We were so excited to hear their story.
Yeah, and we made a post that in August we would be here. And we got connected with a couple families right away that were calling us saying, how can we help? They were on the island already. But we didn't have a building. And we were driving. It took us 4 days to drive from Washington with a U-Haul, a vehicle, 3 dogs, 2 cats.
Oh my.
And so it took us 4 days. And the very last day, or the day before we would get to the island, Alan Thompson, Alan and Terry. Alan is now our small groups pastor. Terry is now my assistant. Amazing people that none of this would have happened without that family in our life. And he called and said, what would you think about having church in a bar? And I said, I'm all in. Like, our goal is to go where Jesus went. And so if it's in a bar, that's where the people are. But the day before we get to the island, we had no idea. We thought church would be on the beach, in our home. We just knew we had to be here. Frank and Rochelle Ricci, who own this place, amazing people. Alan talked to him and he said, use our building. Use our building.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's amazing. So, you started having Sunday morning services?
Yes,
We started August 15th. We got here August 10th
yeah.
and started church.
Well, you
August
didn't waste any time.
We didn't, yeah. We knew we were supposed to be here. We didn't know what it would look like. And August 15th was our first service. And there was about 18 people, which blew me away. That brand new church, brand new people coming into this island. Because we, beside a part of those 2 families, we didn't know anybody. We knew Miguel from Beach Resort, but he has since taken a job on the mainland. But we didn't know anybody. And to have 18 people be interested was phenomenal, and it's just really grown from there.
And how has it grown?
We have expanded to 2 services because Sunday morning became full. It was full of people, which it's a great problem to have.
Yes.
But we kept looking around and we're saying, where are we going to have a second service? And the reason for Tuesday is we wanted to reach the hospitality industry. We know that this island is busy on the weekend, and the people who work in all of those arenas don't really have time on a Sunday morning. So we said, what about a Tuesday night? And we were looking all over, and then in our little leadership meeting, somebody suggested, why don't we use upstairs?
Which is where we are right now, where they hold Tuesday evening services.
Yeah, and it has grown to, I don't even know how many in person, but it has grown to about, because we're online as well, we stream about 1,500 per week in 10 different countries. And
Wow.
are watching this island in Texas.
Right.
Some schmuck of a pastor talking about Jesus. It blows me away. It's only been 10 months, but it has expanded well beyond what we had no expectations going in, but this, even if we had expectations, what has been happening on this island doesn't even touch it.
That is amazing, isn't it? What a story, and what faith you all had to make the move. And well, I think it's a lot, of course, thanks to Krystal,
Yeah.
because she made you commit.
She did.
But
Yeah.
and you know, I know that the community is very glad to have you. I know that you are out in the community because I know you have a Facebook, and I see you on Facebook, and you are always out with people in the community and connecting with them. You know, you're not just staying, well, I mean, you don't want to stay in the bar all the time, but so you're not just staying hidden in a church. You are out into the community and meeting people where they are, and that's wonderful that you're doing that. So do you have, what are your thoughts about the future?
Well, I wish I could tell you, but this is taken off so quickly that our goal is, and you touched on it, our goal is to be out in the community as much as possible. We look at the life of Jesus and realize that there was a handful of times that he was in a building sharing the message, but the rest of the time he was out in the community. And I think at times our culture, we've flipped that, where we think Sunday mornings is the Super Bowl and that's what we do, and then just go about our everyday life. Now, church, the big church, is all out in the community, and our goal is to reach people whether they claim OneTwo as their church or not. We want to do life with them, relationship with them. So we're coming up with different community events where we can just be out with people. They can know that there's a God that loves them so much, because they're in we have such a unique ministry, just the capabilities of God moving on this island, because you have millions coming who come in and they can hear the name of Jesus one time and be changed and go back to wherever they're from and start something there and create a movement there. It doesn't necessarily, we're not in the business of collecting people to fill a building. We're in the business of let's expand heaven with forgiven people who know the name of Jesus. And that's where you'll see us. We'll be at bars. One of our families that are now on the leadership team, the reason she came was she pulled me aside at 11 o'clock at Coconuts. And she said, I heard you're a pastor. I said, I am. She goes, why are you here? I said, to be with you. And something struck her, and she was there next Sunday, and they are amazing leaders in our church now. But we just want to be with the community. That's our goal. We don't. We also want to address any addiction struggles of people here on the island, because I have a personal history with that. She sees the other end of how much it can affect someone to see that their spouse, their son, their parent go through addiction. So I couldn't do it without her. This is all a joint effort of, she gets one side of the situation and I can address the addiction, marriage counseling, all of that.
Right. That's great. So I know, like I said, that the community is very happy to have you all here, and as members of the chamber as well, we are always here to help you in any way that we can. Krystal, you didn't say much.
That's his job.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
I'm more of a behind the scenes.
there you go. Nothing wrong with that. Every man needs a good woman behind the scenes. Is there anything else you would like to share before we go?
We want to thank the chamber. Right away we jumped in and we met you, and we knew as soon as we get to the island we have to join the chamber. And you guys have been a tremendous help of getting the word out, of activities we're doing, just support. I think it was you that called me. It was a month or two ago, and the only conversation was, we just want you to know that we're here for you. And I needed that in that moment of, okay, because this has been overwhelmingly beautiful, but still overwhelming of what's happening. But just that support and knowing you guys have our back and are walking through life with us, it's been amazing.
Well, thank you. And I did not pay him to say
No.
that, just so you know. Well, it was a pleasure, seeing you again. And yes, I remember the day we met. I was really excited. I thought, who is this young couple? How did they find out about this event? And it was really a pleasure meeting you. And yes, our community is here to support you. Anything that you need and we can do for you, we're all here. We're all happy that you're here, and we wish you, Godspeed. I know that He's obviously leading you in a mission, and that's great. So very nice to see you both. Thank you so much for coming. Again, this is Matthew and Krystal Wyatt, and they are OneTwo Church. So look them up. You can find them on Facebook. Of course, you can find them on the chamber website, and give them a call. Maybe you'll see them around town. Tell them, it's nice to meet you and get to know them. You'll be glad that you did.
Thank you
So
so
thank
much.
you both.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Thank you, Krystal. Good to see y'all.
You too.
All right, until next week, we will be back, same time, same station. Bye.